Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping straight into a football result that's genuinely sent shockwaves, a huge one. Our mission, like always, is to dig into the sources you shared, pull out the key bits, and, well, give you the shortcut to understanding this major clash.
Exactly. We're talking about the FIFA Club World Cup semifinal, just finished. Paris Saint Germain versus Real Madrid, giants of Europe. And the scoreline, well, it was pretty astonishing. PSG winning 4-0. 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
Against Real Madrid, that alone demands a closer look, right? The sources point out something quirky even before kickoff. The game over in the U.S. was actually delayed, 10 minutes.
Yeah, a bit strange. Both teams apparently got caught in traffic on the way to the stadium. Not exactly the ideal prep for these huge stars. Hard to say if it directly impacted the start, but it's certainly an unusual detail for a match this big.
Right. But once it did kick off, wow. Let's look at the teams. Real Madrid had, the big names, Courtois, Rudiger, Bellingham. And interestingly, Mbappe was listed in their lineup, a player obviously with so much history, or rumored history, with PSG.
Absolutely. And PSG lined up with familiar faces, too. Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Dembélé, the usual suspects. But then the whistle blows, and that first half, PSG just exploded, didn't they?
Exploded is the word. It wasn't just dominant. It felt like a tactical blitz. Fabián Ruiz scores in the 6th minute. Just like that. Sets the tone immediately. Aggressive.
And before Real Madrid could really settle, barely 3 minutes later, 9th minute, Dembélé scores. Sources really point to that defensive error from Rudiger. Maybe caught pushing up a bit. It seemed quite uncharacteristic.
Yeah, definitely not something you see often from them. And PSG, they just kept going. Fabián Ruiz gets his second, 24th minute. Hakimi with the assist made it 3-0 by halftime.
3-0 at the break. Imagine the dressing rooms. Reports suggest, well, disbelief for Real, while PSG must have been flying high. Total confidence.
But even down 3-0, Real Madrid has quality. You mentioned Arda Güler started. The young Turkish international. He stayed on for, 83 minutes? Battling away.
He did, showed some fight. But the sources really emphasize PSG's defensive strength, too. They just weren't giving Real many clear looks at goal. And PSG could have even made it worse earlier. Kvaratskhelia had that chance, didn't he? Shot just wide around the 57th minute.
That's right. Could have been 4, even sooner. It's just striking how Real Madrid, with all their experience and talent, just couldn't seem to find a way back. And then PSG really put the nail in the coffin. Ramos, 87th minute. Nice finish, too. 4-0.
Yeah, sealed it definitively. And we should probably mention the absences, too. Suspensions were a factor. PSG were missing Pacho and Lucas Hernandez. Real Madrid were without Huijsen. Key defensive players,
Yeah.
Doesn't explain 4-0 entirely, but certainly didn't help Real's cause.
Good point. So that huge performance means PSG have, emphatically punched their ticket to the FIFA Club World Cup final.
That's right. And they'll be facing Chelsea. That promises to be another massive game. Set for Sunday, July 13th, MetLife Stadium in New York.
So wrapping this up, PSG's 4-0 demolition of Real Madrid. It's not just a win, it's a statement, isn't it? Against a team like Real Madrid. Analysts and our sources are already debating what this really means. A potential turning point, some are saying.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the bigger picture, the whole landscape of elite club football. Is a result like this, that dominant, signaling a real shift in power, a new era maybe? Or was it just one of those nights, an incredible performance meeting an off day?
It's a fascinating question. So as you think about PSG's performance, this huge win in that upcoming final against Chelsea, what do you think this victory tells us about PSG right now? Their strength, their tactics, maybe their ambition on the world stage? Something to ponder.